I had got a call for a job interview downtown Chicago. And I remember when the guy called me, I was just so excited. I wrote down the address and told him that I was going to be there. He said that the interview is at 11 o'clock the next day. And I was like, okay, hey, you know what? I'll be there. Because, I was looking for a position for quite some time. And considering the fact that it was in downtown Chicago, I was like, okay, I'm moving on up. I'm walking around like I'm George Jefferson or something. I was even singing a song, we're moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Yeah, to say that I was excited is an understatement. But anyway, I decided the next day I put on my best suit and I had left early. The job interview was at 11 o'clock. I had got there probably by like a good 10:15. Oh yeah, 45 minutes early. Because, I had to look for the place. So I was walking around downtown like I'm George Jefferson with my arms swinging back and forth and all. And I was looking for, a high-rise building. Because, I'm like, I'm going to be in the office somewhere. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be, fast cars, wonderful food, beautiful women, the good life. And to my surprise, we was meeting in a bar. A little bar restaurant downtown. Huh? Now, that should have been my first clue, and I'm going to tell you what happens next in a minute. Just give me a moment to explain myself, because the fact that this job interview was at a bar should have been my first clue. But I'm so excited, thinking I'm George Jefferson and all. So I'm like, okay, well, this is the address that, he gave me. So I go inside and, and I'm a little hungry. So I'm like, okay, well, then I should probably get something to eat because I don't know how long this interview is going to be. I look at the menu to see, I'm like, okay, I can't go wrong with, hamburgers, fries, something like that. So I pull out a little money that I got because, being unemployed and all. I look at the menu, it's $15 for a hamburger. $15. I looked at, matter of fact, when I first looked at it, I had actually blacked out for 2 seconds and then came back to again. And I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I need some glasses or something, man. I know I don't see no $15 for no hamburger. Now, if I'm going to be spending $15 for a hamburger, it must be able to cure all manner of diseases. So the lady, she come up to me. I could tell she got a little, attitude in her face. She's standing there like, hurry up and buy. Hurry up and buy. I'm like, I'm saying, miss. Is that right? $15 for a hamburger? Yes, it is. $15. $15 for a hamburger. Is the meat fresh? And she looks at me and she says, we killed the cow yesterday. I looked at her and said, you're a bald-faced story. Now you know good and well you didn't kill no cow yesterday. If you did, I want to see proof. I want to know for a fact if you did kill. And even if you did, the $15 for a hamburger, you done completely lost your mind. Well, you don't have to buy it if you don't want it. I said, I don't want it. Just tell me where the job interview is so I can be on my way. And she like, if you go in that room, the orientation is over there. I said, don't you mean job interview? Orientation. Now, you see, that was clue number 2. But I just completely ignored it because, my mind is on the fact that $15 for a hamburger. Now, if I want to be spending $15 on a hamburger, that means that one bite and I should never go hungry again. If I'm going to be spending $15 on a hamburger, that's just crazy. It's just insane. $15 for a hamburger. how do they stay open? You know what? Never mind. You know what? Continue on. Okay, so I go into the other room. You know, go up some stairs. I see some of the guys, they setting up, and I see other people, you know, looking for a job, and, you know, me and them, we introduce ourselves, you know, saying that we've been looking for a job this long and that long, and business went under, and, you know, got laid off, you know, hear all kinds of stories, you know, and which is, you know, usual, you know. You hear people's, you know, other stories, and, you know, you share them, and, you know, in a way you kind of like try to one up them, you know. My situation is worse than yours, you know, that kind of thing. So we start the interview, or as I should call it, orientation. And, you know, and the guy, he comes up, it's 11 o'clock, and he tells us that he's in real estate, you know, which is, you know, what I thought was about, and it was real estate. And he says that he hangs out with millionaires all the time, and that he is surrounded by money this way and that way and everywhere around. There's money just everywhere, and that there's money for each and every one of us as well. All we have to do is just pay $29.95 for one of his books or his CDs or his cassettes, and we'll be able to make easy money too, just like he is. And I'm like, wait a minute. What is going on here? And you know what? And people started to get the hint that, wait a minute, this is not a job interview. This is a scam. That's what this is, and it was too. It was a scam. But you see, the thing is that other people, they got up and walked out. I was still sitting there. I decided that, you know, wait a minute, let me see what's going on here. Let me see what this is about. Now, it didn't really dawn on me what was really going on, because, you know, I'm still disgusted over that, you know, $15 hamburger, you know. So he goes on and on, you know. He sits down, another guy comes up, and he says that, you know, he makes money and how much money he makes, and that he can easily make $1 million just like that within just snapping his fingers, and that there's easy money in the atmosphere. And I'm like, So these guys pretty much have money that grows on trees. That's pretty much what they're saying. But if you was to buy their tapes and CDs and books for $29.95, you'll be able to make easy money as well, just like these bozos. And that's when it done. I'm like, okay, yeah, these guys are something is wrong here. But you know what? It still didn't register. That was until I saw a photograph. They showed a photograph of their home offices as they was closing up. And so when they showed it on the presentation that they was doing, I looked at the photograph and I was like, no, that's not a photograph. That's a drawing. It wasn't a picture, it wasn't a photograph, it was actually a drawing. And what made it worse was that it was in crayons. These bozos misrepresented themselves to telling people that they was offering jobs when they was really just a bunch of con artists. That's what they were. That's what they are. And that's when it finally clicked. And I'm like, wait a minute, man, what kind of mess is this? And then, and here's the shocking thing about it, is that as they was trying to sell their merchandise, they said, okay, now everyone, this week we'll be meeting again, but this time we'll be at the airport. And on that day, Friday, this will be your very last chance to buy our CDs, our DVDs, and our books before we leave town. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, this will be the very last opportunity to rip people off. Now, here's the thing. Now, if I'm not going to spend no $15 on no hamburger, what makes him think I want to spend some $29.95 on some junk DVDs and CDs and cassettes and books and all that crazy stuff? I'm not about to spend that money on that junk. Like, man, I'm like, man. And that's when I just left out of it. I said, man, that whole place was just a scam. The whole place just dirty, corrupt. Man, I should have known from the $15 hamburger that they was trying to sell that place was no good. Man. But you know what? There's actually some other places that I've been to whereas it was just bad. Whereas I went to a place all the way out in the suburbs somewhere in the middle of nowhere, knock on the door, go up to a guy and, ask him, tell him that, you got an open position. He says, what's it to you? I'm like, well, I'm Carl Johnson. I'm the guy you talked to on the telephone. Oh, yeah. Guess what? You're hired. Come with me. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't you want to do the interview? Don't you want to ask me some questions, get to know me? And you go, what was that for? What was that for? What I need to know? I don't know if I'm going to be an employee. Maybe you should ask me some, or maybe I should ask you some questions. And he getting, I can tell on his face turning red and all kinds of crazy colors. Dad nabbit, do you want the job or don't you? And I'm like, well, wait a minute, man. Don't you want to look at my resume? I mean, here you go. And he looked at it, glanced over. Oh, wow. According to this, you can read and write. You overqualified. You know what? That's okay. The position was filled this morning. You can go now. Wait. What just happened? You just told me that it was an open position. Matter of fact, you was telling me to come in. Hey, look, the position is filled. There's nothing else to discuss. I'm like, oh, okay, well, shoot. Chances are it was illegal anyway. So I leave out, of course, and that's the thing. When you're looking for a job, that becomes your job. It's your job to look for a job. So, you're constantly going out here and there, everywhere. That's pretty much your job until you actually find a job. And I remember going to a more legitimate place, that is, if you recall it. I can't remember if it was a Walmart or Home Depot or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I had applied online, did the interview over the telephone, and then went in and did the interview in person. And this is a serious note here. Just give me a moment to explain myself. This serious right here. Okay, so I called back and been up there a couple of times to this place, just to follow up, and unfortunately they didn't seem to be interested, and your application, it stays active for about 90 days, right? 60 days, 90 days, depending on the company. And so, I was starting to get the hint that, okay, well, then maybe they're not interested. So I'll just, keep on looking, But, as of right now, my application is still active online. So, okay, well, if anything come up, they'll call me and let me know. And then before, about probably like a month later, maybe about a month or two later, I heard on the news whereas there was a shooting going on at this place, the very place that I was applying at, whereas 2 employees were killed. And this happened. In fact, it was on the news and everything. One employee shot himself, and then he shot another employee, then he shot himself, and both died. They didn't give too much detail about what happened and what the shooting was about, and any of that. The investigation is still ongoing, as far as I know, and I was like, oh wow, I was just lucky that I didn't get caught up in that. So And then 3 days later, I received an email from the very same company saying, open position available for Carl Johnson. Please reply. I said, what? I ain't going to that place. If they think I'm just gonna walk up in there and get one of those positions that them guys just killed themselves over, then they nuttier than a fruitcake. I'm not about to go up to that place and apply for anything. You can't, man, these people are crazy. Somebody, it's sad, but it's true, and it happens every day. And this really did happen. I really did get an email. I really did get an email saying, please reply. This is for Carl John's open availability. And I'm like, no, I am not me. Now, of course, a lot of businesses say, we can easily find somebody else to take your place. I'm like, good, find somebody else. That is, if you can find somebody else, it won't be me, I tell you that much. Man, but shoot, man, this world is crazy. These people are crazy. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And the fact of the matter, I just simply can't get over the fact. I mean, I just cannot wrap my head around it. $15 for a hamburger. That's just so ridiculous, just so stupid. Who do I look like Donald Trump to you that I'm gonna be spending some $15 on a hamburger? Man, boy, man, don't get me started now. I mean, man, $15 for a hamburger. All right, that's it. That's enough from me. Everyone, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a good day. And all that other jolly good stuff, hopefully you guys, find a place that you're happy to work at and everything works out for you, and you find a place that pays you good, be okay, be with loved ones, and, take care of yourselves. $15 for a hamburger. Unbelievable.